Well, opening day of the 2021-2022 season. Windy as all get out. I got to get out across the big river. Headed into the creek system this morning, but there's a canoe loaded with gear. I'll see what I can get into. Should be a good day once I make it across over into the creek, but it's rolling out on the river. Well, see you in a minute. Get over into the creek system, start making sets. I'll show you what I find and how I put them as I go. See you then. Well, I have put in set number 1. It's so muddy I didn't want to walk back up there to film it a little better, but right there's a mink box put in with a 120 in front of it. And right here's one of them logs I found poop all over it the other day when I was in here scouting. That mink box right there. And I have put in a little crawfish oil and a little of the Caven's Mink Master as a lure baited with fresh fish. But right there's my set. I'm gonna move on down. So what I like seeing, there's fresh sign right here. I'm gonna move on down and put in another mink set. But there's a log that I found poop on the other day. You may or may not be able to see it, but there's fresh tracks and tail drags in the mud coming and going to it. It's like a little road sign. Everything comes by here and checks out where the toilet was on this log. But there's fresh sign leading to it and from it right here. Gonna move on down, set out another mink set, but we'll see you in a minute. Here I'm back at that log where I found all that poop on it the other day. There's fresh poop piles, I mean still wet. And you can see little tracks in the mud and tail drags. Tail drag right here. I'll put the other mink box right up in that little trail. Something big has come up here, either otter or beaver up on the sand right there, but I'll get out and put this mink box up in that trail and hopefully we'll do some good. There's fresh sign all over this log. Don't know whether it's muskrat, mink. I saw mink tracks in here the other day, but that looks more muskratty. I'm gonna put out a set and we'll find out in the next day or two, hopefully. We'll show you when I get that put in. Well, here's mink set number 2 going in. It's a 120 conibear box. Baited with fresh fish. Got crawfish oil and a little Mink Master on top. But right here is that latrine log that I've been watching for a couple weeks. And I found fresh mink tracks in the sand right here. So right there's the box. Maybe this will work. I'm gonna keep moving down. Well, got down to where I'm gonna put my first otter set. There's decent sign coming and going up out of here. Not fresh, real fresh since the rain, but I'm gonna bet a number 4 right here where they're coming and going. But on this first otter set up here, I'm using 2 of the Hammers trapline products for the first time. There's my 36-inch wolf fang driver and one of his slider locks, only used on a piece of chain. I'm going to get the set finished and I'll show it to you when I'm done. Right here I have a Duke number 4 bedded on a chain runner. I've taken a little bit of Trapper J's caster lure and put it up here on the top to try to get either a beaver or an otter interested in this set, but hopefully an otter. Got it pulled out on a chain grounder on a 5-foot long metal pole out in deeper water. But there's a good bit of fresh activity up and around this little sandbar. That's the reason why I wanted to set this place. This place is pretty active. I'm gonna keep moving down, show you what I find and the sets as I put them in. Well, I have put a 220 Cubby set right here up on this sandbar above the creek, and there's otter, coon, bobcat, all kind of tracks all over that creek. But we'll see if this one pays off. Baited with fresh fish and crawfish oil as an attractor around it. I got stuck in the sand, quicksand, but I'm going to move on down. Maybe this set'll work. There's otter sign everywhere all over this sandbar. 220 Cubby set. Gonna move on down. That otter's having them good old time up on that sandbar. Look at all them drags and slides coming up and down that sand. It's incredible. If I wasn't right next to a business, I would think highly about setting this right here. But I'm only about 100 yards from a factory, a sawmill. Let me think about this one. I may have to put in a pocket set, but it's incredible amount of sand going up there on this little sandbar. Looks like a toilet, but I ain't got out to look at it. But it's just it's drags all over it and coming up and down it. I'll move on down. Let me think about this one a minute. See you down the line. Well, I have thought about it a few minutes and taken a piece of PVC pipe. It's an inch and a half, I think inch and a quarter, inch and a half diameter pipe, and put in like a portable pocket right there. Baited it with fish. I have taken a little bit of the Fleming's crawfish oil. It's like a trailing scent, and put it up and down that slide and kind of wetted it in. I'm going to bed a Duke number 4 coil right here where I've got the hammer's driver still in the hole where I just drove the wolf fang, but I'm going to put the stake right there and go out here in the deeper water and anchor the drowning rig up. But I've already got the otter coming here quite often. Pretty good fresh sign all down along the bank, and a toilet right here. I didn't want to just put in a blind set. I wanted to kind of spice it up a little bit. Right or wrong, that's what I chose to do. Fresh fish in the pocket, and we'll bed the number 4 right there and set the drowner stake out in deep water. I'll show you the set when I get done. See you in a minute. All right, here's my finished set. Here's the pocket, and got a number 4 Duke. You may not be able to see it. I kind of stirred the mud up around it. Bedded out in front of it, kind of offset just a little. Fresh fish in the pocket, and all the otter sign going up here on this little sandbar. We'll see how this does. Some of this stuff's gonna have to hit tonight. There's just too much fresh sign. But I've got a 5-foot stake driven out in the deep water, and it's about 18 inches underwater, so this set's pretty well hidden. I'm gonna move on down, see what else I can set today, but keep moving down. See you in a minute. Well, when I come in here scouting, I found this pipe. It goes all the way across this creek. It's kind of like a log crossing. Well, I have made a little 2x4 and 1x saddle to sit on top of this pipe. And I have managed to get me a 220 conibear right here on top of this pipe. Don't know if it'll work. It's an idea that I had that, you know, anything coming across this creek for a mile or two, instead of swimming, is going to use this crossover on this crossing pipe right here. And you can see right here, I've got the 220 right in the middle of the pipe, sitting on this 2x4 saddle I made for it. Sneaky. I normally haven't done any kind of sets like this, but I found this one and wanted to give it a try. Anything coming across this pipe is going to have to either find a way to climb across it or go through that 220 right there out in the middle of the creek. I got it cabled right there to the pipe. Maybe it'll work. I'm going to turn around here and head out and go up the other side on the way out, setting as I go. See you when I find more places to make a set. Well, I'm putting in a pocket set right here. Got the 1.5 inch PVC pipe drove back in the bank full of fresh fish. I got a Duke 1.5 bedded right in front of the pipe. I do have fresh otter sign also right here coming up and down that sandbar. Big otter sign. Makes me wish I'd have brought some bigger traps. But I'm gonna try this. Pocket set, 1.5 Duke. Run out on a drowner cable. Got a little crawfish oil sprinkled around in here behind it, but there's the set with the 1.5 bedded into the sand right in front of the pocket. Gonna give it a try. I'm gonna set this anchor out in deep water and move on down. Well, I have found this killer trail coming right here and have put a 220 right here on a stabilizer. I'm going to blend in the top a little bit better, but I have got it wired off over here to this metal pole. I'm going to blend it in very well to try to prevent theft. And it's just a worn out trail coming out right here. There's a 220. We'll keep moving down, see how this works. See you in a little bit.